your seats. Resume your seats.
President, I am on my feet. I'm coming on order 42.
Which is the same thing you complain about.
Do I come in?
No, God, because they are still doing it.
Do I read the order or I just go ahead?
Go ahead on the order 42. You know you can read so that people will know.
Order 42. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward. Nor may debate arise upon the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate when his leave to make it sought.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished Senator Goje mentioned an issue to me and gave me the details of what he wanted to say on the floor. So, is it the view of the Senate that he be given the chance to say something without bringing any controversial issue? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed.
So, Mr. President, I want to talk on what really transpired yesterday and the way the section of the social media misinterpreted what happened yesterday. My intention of calling that order was not to go against the Senate President personally or to fight him in a manner that was reported yesterday. The idea is to contribute my quota as an experienced parliamentarian to ensure that the Senate follows the rules. But there's nothing personal against the Senate President or against any senator. And I want the social media, please, to take note. Because the way it was portrayed yesterday was that some people say, Goje challenge Senate President. Or there was a drama. There was no drama. There was nothing like that. I only raised a normal point of order 55 based on our rules. And the Senate President gave me a chance based on our rules. And everything was sorted out. There was no controversy and there was no fight. Please, social media and other members of the press, I want to kindly call upon you to report what really transpires in this Senate correctly, so that Nigerians will know actually what happens, not somebody's views. Please, and please, and please. That's all. That's my decision, Mr. President. We didn't fight yesterday. It was not a fight.
Well, point of order is hereby sustained. But I can tell you what will happen. Social media will say, Goje re-emphasizes. Senator Go. No, you know, but you know, I would have been a good editor in Sun. You didn't hear me. I would have been a good editor in Sun newspaper. so Goje re-emphasizes is a point of order. So I thank you for the explanation, but I hope they will hear that there is no fight in the Senate and that we are all one. Thank you for your listening. Then please, just the correspondence which you were expecting and which you wanted to treat immediately in order to help Mr. President conclude refix his cabinet and continue with the fight against terrorism and kidnapping. So this is the correspondence we are about to treat. Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, and then Distinguished Senate President request for confirmation of a nominee, a ministerial nominee. In compliance with the provisions of Section 147(2) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I am pleased to forward for confirmation by the Senate the nomination of Christopher Kwabin Musa as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's actually General Christopher Musa. Maybe now that he's going to wear khaki, they just put Christopher, they didn't put General. While I hope that this request will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President, distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is immediately stood down for consideration by a committee of the whole. Yes, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President. My order is is 24. Mr. President, distinguished senators, my order is order 24 sub 2A. Order 24 sub 2A. Mr. President, order 24 2A. Mr. President, these rules, we gave it to ourselves on our own volition to observe it in compliance but not in breach.
And it's also constitutional section 60.
And is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the grand norm of the land in section 60, gave us the powers to regulate ourselves. Pursuant to that, we gave these rules to ourselves. And in section 24, 26, 24, 2A and D, these our rules clearly and unambiguously stated that one, it defined the office of the chief whip. It went further to state the duties of the chief whip, wherein in very clear and unequivocal terms, it states the duty of the chief whip is to maintain order and decorum in the Senate. That is the duty of the chief whip. So, distinguished colleagues, I want a situation whereby if this chief whip invokes the powers that is conferred to his office, it should be complied with without let or hindrance, so that we'll have decorum in the way and manner we conduct our proceedings, especially when we are on live television. And I still want to reiterate my earlier call for us to amend our rules, just like in the House of Representatives when I served as a chief whip. For anybody to approach the chair, he must have the permission of the chief whip first to approach the chair. That is the practice in the House of Reps. So that we can have decorum. No.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished colleagues, I can hear some people saying the chief whip is right, and I can also hear others saying no. Nobody will get permission from the chief whip to approach the chair until the rule is amended, but your point of order is sustained. Yes, Deputy Senate President.
Furtherance to the observation that was made by the chief whip, I want to come under order 55, 9, and of course 10. 9 says, when a senator is speaking, no senator may converse aloud or make any noise or disturbance to interrupt him. 10. During a sitting, all senators shall be silent or shall confer only in undertones. I think if we have been doing or observing these two orders, there wouldn't have been the need for him to come under the order he raised. But we are being working in breach of these two orders. So I call on my colleagues. This is the #1 assembly in the country, the highest assembly. So we need to make sure that we do the needful during sitting. No noise, and if you want to say anything, go close to your colleague and confine undertones, because the world not only Nigeria, the number one democracy in Africa. In Africa. So everybody is watching, and whatever we do here is watched through live streaming. People in America, in the Caribbean, everywhere they are watching us, in Europe. And today is even live. Even when it is not live, it's seen everywhere, and people watch us. So please, let's, this is Hello Chamber. So please, let's kind of observe decorum. Let's do our things in line with our status as the number one assembly in Africa, not even Nigeria, in Africa. I so, Mr. President.
Yes. Your point of order, Deputy Senate President, is sustained. So please help the Chief Whip to help us. And like the Deputy Senate President said, if we were observing Order 9, 10, there would have been no need for the Chief Whip to come under Order 24. He's decided to invoke his powers to let you know that the fact that you are doing these things without getting permission from him is not correct. So both of them are right. So we must ensure decorum. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President, and very distinguished colleagues. The third order of the day is the screening and confirmation of the nomination of General Christopher Guabin Musa for appointment as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in accordance with Section 147, Sub 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as altered. Mr. President, distinguished senators, in order to carry out this exercise in conformity with our standing Order 12 on floor privileges, I will move two motions. First, I move that the Senate do resolve into the Committee of the Whole to conduct the confirmation hearing, and two, I will be moving that we suspend the relevant provisions of Order 12 of our rules to enable us admit strangers into the chamber. The stranger now including the nominee and those who will be accompanying him, as well as the special advisor to Mr. President on National Assembly Matters, Senate. Finally, that if tallies with the wisdom of this hallowed chamber, let me say it again, that the preponderance of the screening be done in closed door session after the introductory remarks by the nominee. The nominee himself having been first screened and confirmed by the 10th Senate. Then, while seeking to assume office as the Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces. That will be the purport of my motions, Mr. President. I so move.
Leader, please approach the chair. Leader of the Senate.
Please, sir.
Leader of the Senate.
Yeah. Mr. President, electoral matters. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the minority leader had not stood up actually to second my motion because apparently we were not ripe for that. The special advisor to Mr. President on National Assembly matters is on his way with the nominee. So in view of that, Mr. President, I would move that we step down, we stand down the third order of the day to enable us take the fourth order of the day, which is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Capital Market on the sale of Lafarge Cement PLC to Chinese investors. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Izunaso Osita to move the motion for the Senate to receive and consider the report of the committee.
Well, first, the minority leader. Do you accept that we step down the item and move over to the next one? There are two motions there.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion moved by the Senate leader to step down an earlier motion that was moved. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do step down the confirmation hearing to enable the special advisor to get ready. Those in support of the motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Then please, Senator Izunaso, you have the floor on the capital markets.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Osita Izunaso. I represent Imo West. Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the committee. The report of the committee on capital market on the federal government to halt the sale of Lafarge Cement PLC to Chinese investors in the interest of national security. I so move, Mr. President.
Yeah, proceed. Well, Senator Izunaso, you move a motion to present the report. Was there any seconder? Senator Ojusakalo may help you out. No, you have proceeded, Senator Ojusakalo. Okay, Senator Jim Ibrahim.
My name is Jim Ibrahim. I represent
Senator Izunaso,
and I rise to support the motion moved by the presentation of the capital market report by the chairman of my committee, Senator Ozulazo. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that the report on capital market be presented to us for further deliberation. Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed now to lay the report. Yes, you may wish to put just the synopsis and summarize the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will just go straight to the synopsis and the recommendations. Mr. President, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Thursday, 27th March 2025, deliberated on a motion urging the federal government to hold the sale of Lafarge Cement PLC to Chinese investors in the interest of national security, and referred it to the Senate Committee on Capital Market for further legislative action, as per the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 27 March 2025. Mr. President, the committee, after an extensive deliberation with the major stakeholders regarding this motion, made the following observations and findings, which I'm going to be very brief on. Mr. President, following an in-depth and meticulous hearing session that involved key regulatory bodies such as Corporate Affairs Commission, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council, as well as the Bureau of Public Enterprise, the management team of Lafarge Cement PLC, and the prospective investors from Huzin Cement, the committee has compiled a series of observations and findings. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the committee's observations are aimed at ensuring that all aspects of this monumental financial move were thoroughly evaluated and understood. This will not only uphold compliance with regulatory framework, but will also protect the interests of consumers and national economy at large. The findings derived from the discussions encapsulate the concerns, expectations, and strategic consideration pertinent to the substantial transaction with the contents of Nigeria's evolving market dynamics. In summary, Mr. President, the committee findings will serve as a fundamental reference as discussions progress regarding the future of Lafarge Africa PLC under new ownership and its potential role in driving growth and innovation in the cement industry. Mr. President, in conclusion, the committee, having looked at all the submissions of the government agencies involved in this transaction, is of the view that the transaction does not breach any instant laws and has not presented any security or economic risk to the country. We therefore recommend that the Chinese investors who Huzin Cement PLC reinvest more and upgrade all the existing plants. Furthermore, the committee emphasized the need and necessity for processes of this nature to always adhere to all laws and regulations guiding such transactions. We so submit, Mr. President. But before then, we want to thank Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. On behalf of the committee, I thank you for the attention and the opportunity to serve you better. Thank you, Mr. President. Oh.
Yes, this is Senator Zakalo.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Ojo Zakalo. I want to thank Senator Oster Izunaso for what he has done. Nigeria economy is an open economy, and we do not want to stop anybody investing in Nigeria. We need more foreign direct investment for people to come and invest. I do not see anything wrong in a company buying over another company. There is nothing wrong in that. So it is in order, Mr. President, under your leadership, that you are supporting foreign direct investment. And these are kind of investments we did. People in the world are watching. People in Africa are watching that Nigeria's doors are open for new investment under President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So I want to thank my colleagues in that committee for sustaining the business environment and allowing the Chinese company to buy Lafarge. It is in line with our laws. I so support, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Yes, Olamileko.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleague, Adeola Solomon Olamileko, representing Ogun West Senatorial District in the Senate of the Federal Republic. Mr. President, let me thank the committee who have gone on a fact-finding mission concerning the transparency that is involved in the transfer of ownership of Lafarge Cement from the original owner to the new owner, which is a Chinese company. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I will vividly recollect that we brought a motion to the floor of the Senate concerning the sale of Lafarge Cement. Mr. President, we are not against foreign direct investment into our country. We are not against in promoting business in Nigeria. But what we are saying is the transparency level that is involved in the sale of this company. What we are saying is that given Nigeria the first right of refusal, having been in the country for close to almost 100 years, we felt that holding of 16.19% by Nigerian investors is not enough. That if we have a Nigerian company or a Nigerian investor that can pick up the stake of the original owners of this particular company, we should be given that first of right refusal. Yes, sir. It is in this National Assembly that we passed the Local Content Act. And what does the Local Content Act tends to achieve? Is to protect Nigerians, is to protect our interests. As we speak, if you go to the oil and gas industry, no contract is awarded without Nigerians put it into consideration. And this has worked considerably well for us. We even went ahead, setting aside 1% sum of all contracts awarded in the oil and gas industry to be paid to the Local Content Act, which is deposited with the Bank of Industry. And what is that fund for? Is to empower Nigerians to be able to invest in the oil and gas sector. So what we are asking for, as much as I agree with the content and the intent of what this report is trying to tell us, but we are saying, is the right of Nigeria, is it well protected in the transaction? Is Nigeria given that first of right of refusal? Holding 16.19% is not enough. What if we have a Nigerian company or an investor that can take charge or take ownership of this company? That is our argument. That is what we are asking for. And what is the role of SEC in all of this transaction? We are not against foreign direct investment. We are not against promoting business in Nigeria. But what we are asking for, Nigeria must be protected. Nigeria must be given the first of right of refusal. We accommodated this company for over 100 years, almost 100 years. We give them necessary protection. Their corporate social responsibility, what level of implementation? We are not asking that. That's not what we are asking for. But we are asking that is Nigeria is Nigeria given the opportunity to see if they have the capacity to acquire this company. Yes, the transaction might not take place at an international level, but we know that that transaction cannot go through without all necessary regulatory bodies in Nigeria playing an active role in the sale and the disposition of this company.
So, Mr. President, as much as I agree with the content of what this report says, which what I've seen in this report is that the committee has only gone on a fact-finding mission, and what they found on the field is what was reported to us. But the real issue that was raised in the body of the motion that was laid before the Senate was not addressed. Was not. So if the much they can do is this, I want to say that we are not satisfied. We know the company has gone because the transaction has almost been concluded. But going forward, Mr. President, this is the Nigerian Senate. This is not Senate of any part of the other country. We don't have any other Senate than this Senate. So Nigerians must be protected to the last. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I commend. But at the same time, I said I am not satisfied because committee never addressed the real issue upon which the motion that was laid before this house was predicated upon. I so submit, Mr. President.
Well, I don't want to preempt the decision of the Senate, but I think that to a large extent, you are right, because the issue was insider trading, and then was also the fact that there was a lot of secret
as ABN TV, where the world is on your screen, bringing you news. From headlines to highlights, we are your guide, ABN TV. Let's take you for a ride. Your stories, your world, your channel. This is ABN TV, where the world is on your screen, bringing you news like you've never seen. From headlines to highlights, we are your guide, ABN TV. Let's take you for a ride. Your stories, your world, your channel. This is ABN TV, where the world is on your screen, bringing you news like you've never seen. From headlines to highlights, we are your guide, ABN TV. Let's take you for a ride. Your stories, your world, your channel. This is ABN TV, where the is on your screen, bringing you news like you've never seen. From headlines to highlights, we are your guide, ABN TV. Let's take you for a ride. Your stories, your world, your channel. This is ABN TV, where the world is on your screen, bringing you news like you've never seen. From headlines to highlights, we are your guide, ABN